你好，我来自中国，我叫邹芳。Hello everybody, I'm from China. I'm Fang Zou, and I'd like to share with you some of my understanding about this transformative learning theory and my personal story that related to this theory. When I'm thinking about transformative learning, it really reminds me some of the moments that really give me some inspirations, like I really dramatically change my understanding of certain things. I really see things in a totally different ways. And I appreciate this theory because since I've been teaching for quite a few years, 5 years, I've been teaching English in China, both in rural settings and urban settings. I think there should be moments that teachers can facilitate students' learning in a dramatic way, rather than just teach them what they are told to teach their students. They really should create an environment for their children to thrive or to learn in a transformative way. So I really think this is a very important theory, and based on my understanding of the theory, I really think that the dialogue between teacher and students is very important, since now I'm pursuing my master's degree in curriculum and teaching, and specifically I focus on teachers' language, like their instructional language when they teach mathematics in the elementary school in the US. I think this is a very important issue, and the teacher's instructional language really matters to students in their development of cognitive skills, and also to facilitate the children's transformative learning, rather than teaching them how to do those additions and subtractions, how to fill out those blanks in those math books. Instead, I really think teachers should use their own language to facilitate or to motivate students to think more, to help them get to those aha moments in their mathematical learning. And also since we always put like China and the US or other Western countries into comparison, like we usually compare those two kind of math education. And we usually regard China as a very successful country who successfully teach their citizens to learn math. But in fact, I think there's still some problems in our mathematical education. I have to admit that we achieve a very high score in standardized tests, but to be honest, there's still some place, and for some teachers, they themselves, they don't know what is math, and they don't know that, they don't think that critical thinking, transformative learning is important in math learning and teaching. So that's why I think it's really necessary for everybody to be aware of the importance of transformative learning. And based on my personal experience, can I talk about my personal experience? Irrelevant to the...
Everybody has. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably irrelevant and a little bit far-fetched to the math education I've been talking about. Actually, when I was in undergrad, I joined a program. It was organized by a group of students, a group of my senior students. It's about caring for left behind children. This is a pretty interesting program, I'd say, because what the program do is it recruit university students and a bunch of kids from rural China, and then build up relationship, like friendship between them, and to connect them as pen pals to each other. Like they write letters, and the organization just pass those envelopes. They just mail those letters from rural area to the university, and then mail it back. They just create connection between those two groups of people. And my job is to train quote unquote train those university students, like to tell them how to get to know about the psychology of those kids in rural places. I'm sorry, I almost forgot to get the definition of what is left behind children. Left behind children is a group of children, especially in rural China, whose parents were out for work, like in the big cities, so they were left behind in the rural areas. So my job is to train those college students to write letters to those kids to make sure that they don't use the language that is too aggressive, or they don't use language that is not suitable for a kid's psychological development or something. I think that's the moment for me that I feel that I have a transformative learning myself, because because originally I just teach them, okay, this is ABC and you should be aware of the XYZ. But then I totally changed, because I think interaction between me and those college students and their true story is more important than those technical stuff about psychology. So that's why I changed my training style. Like I facilitate their conversation among them. I just bring books. We have book talks. We have the World Cafe workshop or conferences. So instead of lecturing them, I really facilitate the communication between them. So I really reach a transformative learning, reach a new understanding of trainer. And they also had a better understanding of the psychology of those kids in rural area.